So you can see this is a sort of a virtual world where you can actually move around. In this building here, I've just put some resources and assets so I can move around and move into this 3D space. And we've got in here resources for various events that we've had in the past, and you can click on that poster and go to a little pavilion and see details from the past conferences and videos and so forth. And this how-to tutorial, if I click on that, that will take me on a link to a pavilion where I can see more about how to actually take 360 photos. And in this, there's a number of associated frames and videos. I could play this video here, or actually this is probably a good one to play. This shows you how to actually,
this is all done in frame.
This is we're all in frame here. So what I've done is I've placed video assets. I've placed this is a link to our website, so it's a graphic with a link underneath.
Panoramic shooting techniques. My name is Maureen, and I run the website pano.ie. You're very welcome to visit it. Now, most of the panoramas on that website are shot using one of the following 3 techniques. They all involve an 8mm fisheye lens. This is a full frame camera. So the first technique I'm going to show you is with the 8mm fisheye on the full frame camera. The second and third technique will involve a crop camera, because not everybody has a full frame camera. Now, as with most panoramic shooting.
So as I say, this is a pavilion on how to do 360 and a variety of examples. There's one here on setting the nodal point, the parallax point. There's a workshop that I ran with some students here. There's a whole series. I won't go into this. It's another frame, in fact. So we'll leave that for now. And there's another video here, I think, also on, this is using, I think this is about the theta camera. This is a video from the Vienna conference in 2017. So the idea with frame really is you can have a custom environment. The actual environment I'm using here, the campus, is a standard environment. And then I've actually customized the contents. So you can see here, I've put a link to our website for members pages. Actually, it won't work because I obviously will. So I don't know if you're still seeing that page because I've probably flipped into a subframe. Anyway, you get the idea. You may also notice in the background there's audio. And if you can hear the birds, you may not be getting the audio from my computer, but there's audio in the background. Tell me, did you hear the audio from the video?
Yes.
You did. Okay, good.
Yeah, and I could hear. I could hear the birds.
You could hear it in the background. You can also move around this space. There's a roof on this building. If we go up to the roof, you can sort of get an overview of the whole space. So I'm just going to click on this link and it will take me to the roof. So you can see here an overview of the campus space. Those are the pavilions I was talking about, where I've got a variety of examples, videos and examples from our website. There's an auditorium at the back, a kind of amphitheater here in the center. And then the background is actually a skybox. It's a 360 photo of a chateau in France that I've put around the environment just to make it more interesting. And then the other things in here are 3D objects like this Phoenix you can see below, and this camera and tripod are elements that I've added to the scene just to demonstrate what you can do with it. If I click on this camera, it'll take us back down to the ground, in fact. And then you can also have a variety of skyboxes. So I've changed, the one I've got here is set to this chateau, but if I click this one, we can suddenly find ourselves in the Louvre in Paris. If I go back up to the top again, you'll see that.
Are you able to incorporate 360 panoramas into the what do you want to call it, the 3D space?
In what sense? I mean, this is a skybox as it is.
Yeah, no, I'm
These
talking.
spheres down here are, I mean, I can switch off the environment and the assets and you can just see the 360 if you wanted to do that. Yes.
Are you able to use the 360 panoramas with in creating the
actual environment?
Yeah.
Not directly. Indirectly, as I said, I can switch off the this environment and just have a 360 space, which is the sphere. But you can have custom environments. In fact, you can change this default model, which is a campus. I can have a variety of other environments, and you can also load your own models. You know, if you have a model, a 3D model of a space or some example like that. What I could show you briefly as an example of that, if I change this space, this is, I don't think I spelled that right. Let me get that right. One of our speakers, Richard Jackson's company, Vitronics, he's built a 3D version of his office space, which at the moment I've just landed in here. So this is a 3D. He built this in SketchUp, and basically he's recreated this office space in SketchUp. So you can actually walk around it. He's also got a link to the actual Matterport tour of the building here. Now, can you see that? Because I've switched.
There we go.
Can you see the dollhouse view?
Yep.
Right. So this is a dollhouse view. Now, the difference, as you can see in a kind of Matterport dollhouse view, is as you transition between nodes, you're going to get artifacts in the furniture moving and things like that. So although it creates a pseudo 3D environment, it's not a true 3D environment the way the examples I've been showing you are. And that's the difficulty with photography, you know, transferring from a 360 photograph to a 3D space is quite an art, and that's not perfect. And Matterport have got it down pretty well, but as you see, you'll see these artifacts as I move. You see the tables and things, you see what it breaks up. So that's how, if you type, that's a series of 360s linked together. So what he did was he literally built this 3D space using SketchUp model. So there you don't get any artifacts. It's a true 3D environment as you move around. And that environment you can place objects in, whereas the Matterport one, it's really just a photo representation. So example, he's put a whiteboard in here, which you can actually draw on, you know, and things like that. And you can bring videos and so forth in. So the reason you start using 3D models instead of just plain 360 photographs is that it gives you much more control and power what you can do with the 3D space. So that's really a couple of examples of what this is all about. If I go back to our campus model now. This space at the moment allows about 40 people to actually interact in. So I could actually give you a link to this space and you could join me in there. If I put this in the chat for our meeting, if you go to the chat and click on this link, you can actually enter this space and you'll come in as an avatar. It'll look like a robot. You can customize that if you choose, but you can also give yourself a name very quickly. Just type a name into that so that we know who you are. And I can see some people have already joined them. They're all anonymous at the moment. So we've all landed on the same spot, I think. So if you want to just click on, there's a kind of tricolor button, blue, green, red button on the top right of your screen. If you click on that, it opens a menu. And you could just where it says customize your avatar, you could do that, but if you just leave that alone and just type a name in and set, then your avatar will at least have a name, so I'll know who's who to start with. So if you'd like to try that, Peter's already done that. If you actually create an account or customize your avatar and then create an account, it will be persistent. In other words, your name and your avatar changes will go with you when you log in future. So does anybody have any questions? Maureen, I see. Are you okay there? I see you're trying to type something in the chat. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, yeah, Maureen's joined us. Good.
It looks really nice, Brian. You've done a lot of work.
Yeah.
Come a long way since it was just a vendor hall.
Right. Well, that was
building.
the expo. That was the expo environment. I can link this to other environments, but for today we'll just keep it simple. But you can actually move from one space to another. We worked on an expo hall for a conference, which I can link to this if I want to.
Are you going to have? Are we going to use this for the WebXR day? Is this for the conference? Is this we just going to have this open?
I'm going to use it in the WebXR day as a kind of, we're going to have a break in the middle and then time at the end. So during the break, when people may just want to have a break or they want to play around with it, they can come in and have a look. And then after the event, a kind of post-event thing, really, we'll have a half an hour session where people can come in and play with it and network or just talk to each other. You'll find that if you go to that little menu at the top, I mentioned before, the red, blue, green menu, that if you actually, where is it? If you click on your profile, yeah, you can set it. Oh, right. If you go to the very top where it says frame at the top of the menu after the sort of what's new, there's a little button which says avatar cam. Now, I don't know that it's going to work for you because we're all using our cameras for Zoom. But if you're just in frame on your own without using your camera, some people can do it. It depends which browser you use. I can't because my camera's tied up with Zoom at the moment. But if you click on that, a little window would appear next to your avatar with your webcam in. Also, if you click on the red microphone mute button, you can talk. Again, when we're in Zoom and frame, it gets a bit sort of tricky, but you can actually turn on your microphone. And you can actually, if we were to leave Zoom, the voice would still be, you would still hear in the environment, you would hear other people. And you can move around with the arrow keys on your keyboard. If you were to go into a Quest headset and put that URL into the Quest browser, you would be able to enter this in VR. If you use you can either use the arrow keys or what are called the WSDZ keys to move around. And this is quite a large space to actually move around in. There's some much smaller spaces like galleries and rooms, which are configured for displaying photography or artworks or whatever you choose. And also there are kind of meeting spaces and actually a number of social spaces you can use as well.
Brian.
Yeah.
It's possible to interact with this 3D object, that bird is.
Yes, if you click on that bird, it's got a link and it will actually take you to a completely different frame. So I don't advise you not to do that at the moment. But that
I found that out real quick.
You did. It takes
Yeah.
you to something called the Univirtual Campus, which is a sister kind of campus that we. I actually did a presentation about our campus. But that's the idea. I can put links onto anything. If you go into the office space, for example.
Brian, I was asking if you can rotate the bird.
Oh, the bird?
Inside.
I
If
could
you can rotate it inside this.
Oh, I see. Rotate it. Yeah, I could. What I would have to do if I go into my menu, I actually first of all need to log in as a different user to do that, because I'm not in as my master user. So I'm just going to change my login. Okay, so I'm now in as an editor. And as an editor, I have the ability to move objects, to place objects. So I can if I turn on my edit mode, I can take that and I can actually, you see the bird moving now?
Yeah. But that is an editor capability, it's not a
yes. Well, yeah, and obviously, depending on how you use the environment, you could give other people edit control. You can give other people edit possibilities, depending on how you're using it. If you're just using it with, 2 or 3 people to prototype or to develop something, then you can all have edit capabilities. If you're using it in a teaching environment where you've got lots of students or other participants who you don't want to mess everything up, then you probably can't. So there are limitations on edit mode, obviously, and that's just how you choose to use it. But you can give other people edit control. So I mean, the other things I could do with that bird is I could. I could make it smaller or larger. I can move the location of it and so forth. So I've got edit control over that. That's how you bring an object in and place it, in fact. You can also, as I say, you can have different links. So that one's linked to another frame at the moment. I could link that to a website. I could link it to another scene. There's another feature in Frame called scenes. So if I were to change the scene, it's more like a slide deck. I can just flip the scenes. You'll see now I've got some additional buildings in the scene that weren't there before. Over to your right, you'll see the right of the pond. You'll see there's a building which is like an expo hall building, and there's also a video playing on the screen at the back and things like that. So you can have scene changes which are experienced by all users at the same time. So again, you have to use those with care and depending on how you're using the environment. If you were to click on the workshop link, actually I should turn my edit mode off. If you could click on the workshop link, you will go to another space, but I think it may be locked. I'm trying to remember now. You can probably, I can show you what it looks like. I'm not sure you can. So this is another space. This is just a kind of a lecture hall space, which you can move around. And again, you can change the skybox on that as well. So that's what Frame does, really. Basically, Frame. I think Lauren asked earlier, is it like AltSpace? Well, AltSpace you can do this in, but the thing with AltSpace is you have to learn how to use either at least the world editor, which is, I haven't tried myself, but it's tricky. But to do anything really sophisticated or place a lot of assets, you need to use Unity, which requires, quite a lot more in the way of learning and programming potentially. And the advantage with the frame is that you don't need to have any coding, and you can just basically put assets into a space relatively easily and customize the space.